Tommy Daniels here. Welcome to the Allen Americans podcast. Pleased to be joined by the newest member of your Allen Americans, Patrick Watling. How does that ring to you?
Not bad.
Well, great to have you. And just kind of looking at your career and what you've done so far. Obviously, you started out with the Storm in juniors and were there from 11 through 14 with the final stop in the with the Sioux Greyhounds in the OHL. Take us through your major junior career. You put up good numbers. What kind of a player were you in junior hockey?
In junior hockey, I was more of a two-way forward. I played at both ends of the ice. I brought a little skill and speed to it, but a little grit and intensity as well.
So Guelph, that's a pretty popular team in the Ontario Hockey League. A lot of players have actually rolled through the doors here in Allen as a member of the Guelph Storm. Talk about playing there and just the respect and what a great program that is in the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah, as you said before, it's a good organization. It's known throughout the league and others. A lot of good alumni. Everyone likes to keep in touch, and it's just a great city all around.
You started out, you had time in Orlando and Toronto in your first year. What was that like, getting 29 games in the American Hockey League coming straight out of junior? Obviously, a lot of pressure on you, I would imagine, at that point, but very good number.
Yeah, you definitely learn a lot. You get thrown in the fire, so it comes at you really quick, and you just try to take as much in as you can.
What did you learn? I think what's maybe the biggest jump when you leave major junior hockey, especially coming up to the American Hockey League level? Do you try to not put too much pressure on yourself early? What did you take away from that experience?
What I'd say to take away was the intensity, the habits people have at that level, and the consistency, as well as how much bigger everyone is.
I ask all players this, especially guys that have played in the ECHL compared to the American Hockey League. What's the biggest thing that you notice taking that step up to AAA from AA?
I'd say probably just the speed, and day in, day out, the grind is still the same, and just the consistency.
What would Americans fans be excited to know about you if you were describing your game in 50 words or less? So we won't put that pressure on you. You don't have to give me 50, but give me a couple good sentences about the way Patrick Watling plays hockey.
Well, I like to bring a fast element to the game, bring a little skill too. I like to do it at both ends of the ice, so that goes for me too, and try to produce as much as I can at the front and back end.
What do you know about the Allen Americans and the rich tradition and history here in Allen, Texas?
Oh, it's always at the top of the leaderboard year in, year out. It's hard to ignore them. They have a great fast-paced hockey style, good puck possession, and they know how to win.
Do you know anybody on the current roster?
Not as of yet.
Okay. I was talking with Corey DeRochier, one of our forwards, and he mentioned that you guys have a little, something in common there.
Yeah, we do. When we meet each other, we catch up.
That's awesome. What are you looking forward to most about, coming to Allen this year in training camp? I know it's been a really bizarre year, Patrick. Nobody knows for sure. Now it's great to see what the NHL is doing and inside the bubble, and we'll get to that in a moment. But what are you expecting, or what kind of expectations do you have for yourself coming into training camp this year?
I just want to come in, be a little bit bigger, faster, stronger. The main things that every player wants. Produce as well as the coach and the organization wants me to do. Bring that speed, that intensity, that grit, and just contribute to a winning organization.
Sometimes hockey DB is a little bit behind in your height and weight. Now they have you listed at 6'180". I would imagine that might have been your height and weight coming into your first year in the OHL. What's your height now, and what are you weighing in at?
I'm 6 foot still, haven't grown. But I'd probably say between like 205, 210.
Wow. So you've definitely bulked up, and you can tell looking there. What kind of a workout program are you on?
I don't want to give away too many secrets, but
Oh, that's fine. Well, we can keep it simple.
yeah, just some high intensity intervals. There's not much you can do now that the gyms only do so much and there's so much you can do. So you just want to keep it simple. Just bring that intensity and hopefully it works out.
University of New Brunswick last year, you took a different route. You started out in juniors, you came pros, you went back and played college hockey. How was that transition?
It was different because you don't have as many games, so you're not in tune to your play as you used to when you're playing junior and pro. So, but there's more. I'd say more towards each game. It counts more, because there's only 30. So every single play, every single drop of the puck, it means that much more as it usually is, but you just want to make every chance you have count.
You've obviously gone both routes. You played in the OHL where you played a couple seasons. You had 65 or more games. Do you think that's a real tough challenge for guys coming out of college when they're only used to playing 30, 35 games, and then all of a sudden you come to the ECHL, the American Hockey League, and you got a 72 game schedule? Do you start to burn out after you played 50 games because you've never done that before in your career?
Yeah, it definitely comes at you fast. You have to be prepared or else it'll really take it with you. You just got to keep your habits good and on par, keep that consistency up, and eventually you make it through.
How did you become a hockey player? Did you know at an early age that was going to be your love and passion, that you wanted to play the game? Or give us your story.
Oh, my story? Well, I didn't get on the skates till later. I was probably like 8 or 9, but once I got on that ice, it just clicked. So ever since then, I just knew I was going to play the game. I just love it. It's just something that's ingrained in myself at this point.
Who is maybe your biggest supporter growing up? Was it mom or dad? Who took you to the rink more?
Well, okay. Hopefully they don't listen to this because one's going to be in my ear. But I'd probably say my mom. But kudos to my dad. He does everything in the world for me. But my mom has always been there, been in my ear, always supporting me. And at the end of the day, she's always there.
Patrick Watling, the newest member of the Allen Americans, joining us here on the podcast. Did you have a hero growing up? Did somebody in the NHL that you had dreams of putting on skates? Or who was, when you're playing hockey in the driveway, who were you?
I try to embody Peter Forsberg. That was my go-to guy. Yeah, that Colorado Avalanche team with Patrick Waugh, Joe Sakic, and a whole bunch of Hall of Famers. I have too little time to name, but that was my team growing up.
Are they still your team? Because they got a pretty good team now. You look at, we'll start with McKinnon, obviously one of those guys that is going to be a top of mind name for MVP of the league every year. Are you still an Avs fan?
Oh yeah, definitely. Him, Rantanen, Landeskog. You'll go down through the lineup. They're a great team. I'm happy to see what they can do this year.
How about the system which the NHL has put in place? Nobody knew for sure, Patrick, when they said we're going to the bubble, and you hope that COVID disappears. And so far, it's been good. The last 2 times we've heard, there's been no positive test, which is great. Hockey, I didn't know how it was going to be playing in front of no fans whatsoever, but I got to admit, I've enjoyed it. I think the NHL's done a really, really good job with the product on the ice as well.
Yeah, you got to give props to them. They handle it very well. As you can see from the display on and off the ice, they're doing a very good job, and all you can do is commend them.
How about a 5 overtime game? And how crazy was that? I'm sitting there thinking, you really feel for the Columbus goaltender because, he was definitely the number one star of the game. Without him, I think at one point they were getting outshot 87-62. That's one of those games, if you're the loser in that, you wonder how that affects them going the rest of the way in the series, huh?
Yeah, honestly, it's a heartbreak for him and that team. Both teams played very well. They fought hard to the end, but you just got to think the guys in front of them next game are just going to come out and battle that much harder for them.
If you were to pick your Stanley Cup finalist right now, and I know it's tough because there's a long way to go, who do you think are the 2 best teams? Who's the best in the East? Who's the best in the West?
Oh, okay. Well, definitely I go through Colorado for sure.
Okay, I
And
figured.
I want to say Boston because
Yeah,
they know how to pull those games out in playoffs.
they do, and they won a big one obviously earlier today over Carolina. All right, just some fun facts about you. Favorite meal? What's your favorite meal on a non-game day?
I'll probably just simple keep it chicken parmesan.
Chicken parm. Okay. What about game day and game day quirks? Are you one of those guys? Do you make sure you always put your left skate on first, or tape your stick up the same way? Any weird quirks about Patrick Watling?
I would have to say I don't do anything equipment wise, but I do tape my stick the exact same way. That takes a big part of my routine out.
What's your best Christmas memory? Maybe the best gift you received as a kid.
My best Christmas memory is probably a Nintendo 64. I can't forget that one. I didn't think I was getting it at all, and then there it was, lo and behold.
All right. If you're picking your line mates and you're in the NHL, who's on the line with you? You're a center, so who's playing the left side? Who's playing the right?
Well, okay, McDavid usually plays the center and left, so I'll take him on the left and I'll take McKinnon on the right.
That is awesome. Well, we're excited to have you here. We've heard nothing but great things about you in what you bring to the locker room. We have a good team here, obviously, a little bit biased maybe, but Steve Martinson put together another great team, and you were a part of it. Thank you for doing this, and best of luck, and hope to see you in November.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
That's Allen Americans forward Patrick Watling, a big Colorado Avalanche fan, and joining us here this afternoon on the Americans podcast.